Hello and welcome to my first non-Hogwarts Legacy related video. I don't really know what this video is. It's somewhere between a theory and an explanation, but I'm excited about putting this out and seeing what your thoughts on my thoughts are. Sorry for the delay in this video coming out. I've not been very well and had to spend some time in the hospital wing. In this video, I'm going to talk about why Sirius' plan was genius in making Peter Pettigrew a secret keeper, and explain the differences between the Fidelius Charms that we see throughout the Potter series. Make sure you stick around until the end of the video and I'll explain how you can get your hand on a free hoodie. And if you haven't already, don't forget to check out my thorough breakdown of the Hogwarts Legacy trailer and also everything else we know about the Hogwarts Legacy games so far. But without any further delay, let me explain to you why Peter Pettigrew would have made the perfect secret keeper. Now, there's really two parts to this video. The first part is breaking down how the secret keeper works and how the secret can be given to other people. And the second part is to explain the difference between the Fidelius Charm used on the Potters and the Fidelius Charm we see later on when the Weasleys use it to hide from Voldemort. So what is the Fidelius Charm? It is explained very eloquently by Flitwick in the Prisoner of Azkaban book. "How does that work?" said Madame Rosmerta breathlessly with interest. Professor Flitwick cleared his throat. "An immensely complex spell," he said squeakily, "involving the magical concealment of a secret inside a single living soul. The information is hidden inside the chosen person, or secret keeper, and is henceforth impossible to find, unless, of course, the secret keeper chooses to divulge it. As long as the secret keeper refused to speak, you know who could search the village where Lily and James were staying for years and never find them, not even if he had his nose pressed up against their sitting room window." So as you can see, the Fidelius Charm is a secret kept within a single living soul. That means that it can be any secret and not just a location, as we see most of the time that this is used for. The charm is described as extremely difficult to perform, so it would make sense that they're not used very often, only in the most dire of circumstances. Once the secret is stored within a single soul, that secret cannot be gained by anyone else unless they are told by the secret keeper. The only way this information can be gained from a secret keeper is if they choose to divulge it. They cannot be tortured or manipulated out of them by any other spell or potion. However, as soon as they tell a person, that person has the secret kept within them. However, they are not able to divulge that information to any further person. The only flaw in this charm is that if the secret keeper dies, every single person they have told the secret to will become a secret keeper. This is explained at the beginning of the Deathly Hallows book. They were often joined by other Order members for dinner now, because the Burrow had replaced number 12 Grimmauld Place as their headquarters. Mr. Weasley had explained that after the death of Dumbledore, their secret keeper, each of the people to whom Dumbledore had confided Grimmauld Place's location had become secret keeper in turn. "And there are around 20 of us. That greatly dilutes the power of the Fidelius Charm. 20 times as many opportunities for Death Eaters to get the secret out of someone. We can't expect it to hold much longer." Now, during the first Wizarding War, the Order of the Phoenix were aware that there was a spy within their numbers. Voldemort is very good at spreading fear and doubt and lies, and they even doubted each other. During the first Wizarding War, it's to be expected that Lupin would have had a very similar role that he had during the second Wizarding War, and he would have had to been undercover among the werewolves and other outcasts. Now, it's easy to see why Sirius could suspect Lupin as being the spy, considering he was spending so much time among other creatures that have been shunned by wizards. "Remus," Pettigrew squeaked, turning to Lupin instead, writhing imploringly in front of him. "You don't believe this? Wouldn't Sirius have told you they'd changed the plan?" "Not if he thought I was the spy, Peter," said Lupin. "I assume that's why you didn't tell me, Sirius," he said casually over Pettigrew's head. Forgive me, Remus, said Black. Not at all, Padfoot, old friend, said Lupin, who was now rolling up his sleeves. And will you in turn forgive me for believing you were the spy? Now, because of the fear and doubt spread throughout the Order, it's understandable why James would want to choose one of his oldest friends to be his secret keeper and protect his family. And his obvious choice would have been his best man and best friend, Sirius Black. Sirius, throughout the Harry Potter series, is always very eager and willing to help out where he can. I can imagine the thought of him not being able to go and help the Order during the First Wizarding War would have frustrated him and annoyed him. However, he would have wanted to keep out of the action as much as possible so that the secret of the Potter's whereabouts would not have been divulged with his death. As we know, the death of the secret keeper would make everyone he told also a secret keeper. That would greatly dilute the power of the charm, and they already know there is a spy within the Order itself. This would mean that Sirius would have to stay out of the action, as he would be a prime target for Death Eaters to kill. Not only because it would be a very obvious choice for the Potters to make him secret keeper, but also because of the feuds he has with his family members who are within the Death Eater ranks. The other and possibly most obvious choice for secret keeper for the Potters would have been Dumbledore himself. However, he was the leader of the Order of the Phoenix and also the only person that Voldemort himself feared. That would have given him the biggest target on his back out of any other member of the Order. I believe Sirius saw these flaws in the protection of the charm and suggested Peter Pettigrew for that exact reason. He was an obvious choice as he was known to be cowardly and avoid fighting if he could. This means that he would be staying out of the action, which is probably what he would have wanted to do. Also, only the Marauders knew that Peter was an animagus, so if anybody did come to try and attack him at his current hiding location, Peter could have easily transformed into a rat and hidden beneath the floorboards or inside a wall. Peter could hide there, and as soon as the threat is past, he would be able to turn back into himself and continue living out his life in hiding. Sirius truly cared about Lily, James and Harry, and I believe he would have seen this as the strongest protection. They also arranged that no one else was going to be told who the secret keeper was, and if they were told, they would have believed it to be Sirius. This would have been a double bluff, so that Pettigrew would have been even more protected from outside attacks. The only other possible secret keeper for the Potters would have been James or Lily themselves. This is seen later on in the books during the Deathly Hallows when Harry is speaking to Bill after Ron has been seen to be with Harry Potter. The Weasleys have had to go into hiding as they are now known to be working with Harry, so they hide themselves using the Fidelius Charm. Bill states that he is the secret keeper for Shell Cottage, and also that Mr. Weasley is the secret keeper for Aunt Marge's house. Fidelius Charm, Dad's secret keeper, and we've done it on the cottage too. I'm secret keeper here. None of us can go to work, but that's hardly the most important thing now. Now that being said, why couldn't James have just been the secret keeper for the Potter's address? I think this is explained in the line that I have given you by Flitwick earlier in this video. As long as the secret keeper refused to speak, you know who could search the village where Lily and James were staying for years and never find them, not even if he had his nose pressed up against their sitting room window. Now, I believe that the specific wording of the secret that is protected by the Fidelius Charm is very important. In the Order of the Phoenix, the secret that was kept was: the headquarters of the Order of the Phoenix may be found at number 12, Grimmauld Place, London. The subject of this secret was the headquarters itself, as a location. I believe that when James and Lily cast the spell to protect themselves, they made themselves the subject of the spell. I would imagine the wording was something similar to: Lily, James and Harry Potter are hiding within this cottage in Godric's Hollow. By making themselves the subject of the Fidelius Charm, it means that they could stay within that property and be protected from you-know-who. However, as soon as they left the property, the protection would be dropped. Because the subject of the spell was themselves, it also explains why James or Lily could not be their own secret keeper. If they placed a secret on themselves being hidden, they would not be able to disclose this information to anybody else because nobody else would be able to see them because they would have been hidden. So this explains why, when explained, Flitwick states that Voldemort could have had his nose pressed up against their sitting room window and would have never seen them. He would have still been able to have seen the property, but would not have been able to see them inside. Now, with all this information, it's easy to understand why Sirius would have presumed that Peter would have been the best candidate for Secret Keeper. With Sirius and Dumbledore having the biggest targets on their back, and Lupin being a suspected spy, and James being unable to put the spell on himself, Peter was the next obvious choice. Also, with his power of an animagus being secret, he would have easily been able to get away from any would-be attackers who came to try and kill him and dilute the secret. Also, Peter would have been a very unlikely candidate to be a spy because they would have seen during their time within the Order that Voldemort would likely have killed people that would have failed him within his ranks. This would mean that Peter, the coward, would be very unlikely to go over to Voldemort through fear of death. This is why I believe Sirius made the best choice when suggesting that Peter be the secret keeper for the Potters. So there you have it. That is my theory on why Sirius chose the right person to be the secret keeper, and Pettigrew would have been the perfect choice if he hadn't been a spy. Tell me what you think in the comments below, and let me know any other theories or confusions that you have about the Harry Potter series that you'd like me to dive into. Don't forget that all you need to do is be subscribed to my channel to be in with a chance of winning a hoodie on the 31st of October this year, the anniversary of the Potter's death. Also, if you head over to the We Are Horizontal website, you can use the code Marauder and get 20% off of your order. Also, please check out my full breakdown of the Hogwarts Legacy trailer and also my video on everything we know about the game so far. Links to those will be found in the description below. But for now, that is all, and I will see you in the next video. Mischief managed.